So what have we gone and bought this week? We've only gone and bought another Ford Mondeo.
You're joking. Not another one?
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee and you join me today in this video as we are at Aston Barclay once again. I'm here to pick up a Ford Mondeo that I bought earlier this month. I actually attended the sale today. Was going to do a video of the auction and see what the prices are like in January, because January is usually a really busy month in the auctions and the prices are sky high, so it'd be interesting to do a video. But as you can see, the snow is absolutely horrific today. We got here late. The sale was a little bit delayed, but even so we still got here late. We didn't really have enough time to have a look round and look at the stock and stuff, so although I've got a few bids in this morning, I've not really been pre-prepared, so it wasn't really the right day to be doing a video. It's just really the weather is really bad. But we're here now. Need to click the Mondeo. It's a 2011 plate, 2-litre diesel, which I bought in the auction a few weeks ago. Again, it was a day I wasn't filming. I didn't mean to buy the car. I was actually here to pick up the 3008, which we covered in another video just recently, and if you haven't seen that video, please check out the link in the description below. So the Mondeo, like I said, was just something I bought. I was walking through the auction hall, wasn't even buying that day. I actually went to go and find a jump pack for the Peugeot, and I came across this Mondeo that was in. It started off at 500 quid. I thought it sounded pretty cheap. I hadn't done any research on it and just sort of put my hand up and ended up bidding. Next thing you know, we're 800 odd pounds into it, and we own the car with the fees just over £1,000. Anyway, we'll go through those numbers in a bit and look at it properly once we get it out. So we're here now. We're going to try and find it. We've got the paperwork, we've got the keys. Hopefully we can dig it out of the auction. It starts and we can get it back to the workshop, have a proper look around it and see what we bought. So let's go and find it. Well, there it is, guys. Yeah. Right, let's get the snow off it and see if it starts. That's a good sign. Battery's working at least. Oh God. Will the door open? 10 ton of snow gone in. Oh, blimey. This is not a day to be picking cars up. Let's see if she starts. Oh, I've just sat in a ruck of snow. Where the bloody hell's that? We've got fuel in it, that's something at least we can get out of here. Oh, on the button! Sounds alright as well. Right, it's dark and miserable in here. Let me get this car cleared up, get this car out of the auction, see if we can try and get it in a bit, see if we can get it cleaned up. If not, we'll go back to the workshop and we'll probably clear it up there and do a proper walk round of it. But we've got it started, that's the main thing. I've been doing this now for nearly 10 minutes and to be honest, I'm giving up. I think I'm going to have to give up. It is so thick, the ice on it. I mean, I've not got a proper scraper, I'm using my driving licence. I'm just lucky with this, about to expire this. I need to renew it because it's actually, I've just delaminated it all, I think. I can't get anywhere with this. I think we might have to see if we can get a scraper from the office, or if not, we might have to come back next week and maybe I'll plough on, see how far I get with it. I have found the Assured report on here, which is some nice green ticks on there, which doesn't always mean it. Doesn't mean it's perfect, by the way. It just means it's had a basic inspection. It's been reasonably okay. It sounds all right, so it shouldn't be too. I'm not expecting too many dramas with this one, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to go into a 5 minutes, see if I can try and defrost it. Got the heaters on inside and demisters, and just try and see if we can get some sort of visibility, because at the moment I can't even get to the gate and get it out. What a day to come to an auction. Right, we're back at the workshop. It's the following day. I couldn't film Thursday yesterday. Got car back from the auction. The roads were absolutely horrific. The car was covered in salt, it was still covered in snow. I came back to chaos at the garage. Just not have time to get the car cleaned up and film because it just wasn't in the positions. It just wasn't in a nice state to film because it literally was covered in snow and ice. Now the sun's out today. What a difference a day makes. The snow and the ice has all melted away. So it's I'll give it a quick power wash over. It's looking lovely now, so I can go around and show you what we bought. Now on that subject, we've got a little bit of an issue. I've made a bit of a schoolboy error. It just goes to show, no matter how long you've been in this game, you can make this error. I've done what we call bought the car on its good side. So when I was going through the auction and buying this car, I went through the auction hall, I put my hand up to bid because it sounded cheap. I wasn't really paying much attention because I didn't actually look at the car. I just went through, it sounded cheap, I thought, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. I bought it on the driver's side. I didn't look at the passenger side properly, and I really got a little bit of a surprise when I cleaned it off today and looked around the car properly. So I'm going to show you what's happened. It's not the end of the world, by the way, but it certainly is going to make a dent in the budget. I'll put it that way. So let's go and have a proper look around it, see what we've bought, and see what we're going to do with it. Right, here it is, guys. The 2011 Mondeo, finally, with no snow or ice on it. Although we have got a bit of ice on the ground, so we're going to have to be careful because it's a bit slippy today. Looks a clean thing, actually, in fairness, and this is the side that I actually bought it from. So as you can imagine me walking through the auction hall, rostrum's over to the right there, and I can see this lovely car coming towards me, actually in a similar condition to what it is now, all nice and clean, a few weeks ago. And I saw the car starting off at £500 bidding, and I'm interested, my hands up, and I'm there, hands up, bidding away, trying to buy it, and it goes for about £850, I think it was, which sold for, plus the fees. It came in at £1,023, I think, with all the fees and bells and whistles on it. So I was quite chuffed with myself. I thought that's probably about right for that. But then I did think, as I was walking off, I thought, I didn't look at the other side, but I thought, no, it'll be okay, it'll be alright, don't worry about it. We'll worry about that when we pick it up. We'll get to that in a minute. Now I'll tell you what I did see first on this side when I was buying it. So it's like I say, nice and clean. There's a few little marks on it. Like I say, it's done 160,000 miles, which for a diesel is pretty nothing. I've seen these with 300,000 miles on it. They're a decent engine, and it is a clean thing nonetheless. So like I said, nice and clean. Wheels aren't too bad. Good tread on the tyres. We've got good 5-6 mil on there. Wheels are not half bad. Got a nice straight body on it. Nice and clean, all down the left side, pretty much all down the offside, with the exception of a little mark here on the door. Unfortunately, there's a little bit there. It actually is on your nail. You can feel it there going into it, scratched down to through the lacquer and into the paint. So that would need addressing potentially. There's a big scratch there, like I said, a good 12-inch scratch, and then a little one there. That might dull out slightly, that one, but that one certainly won't. That would need painting. And if you're going to paint that, you'd have to blend it into the quarter anyway, so you'd end up doing both anyhow. So that's what I sort of looked at and thought to myself, well, if it's just that, I can, a couple £100, get that door and quarter painted, solve the problem, and we'll have a really nice car. So, anyway, as we carry on, at the back tyre is also good 6-7 mil on there, good tyres, distant pads are okay on it, nice and straight coming around the back. Like I said, we've got the odd little mark on it as you go to the back, a few little scratches that will probably buff out, and a few little chippy marks here, but then they'll touch in. Some of these are the scuffs. I mean, you put your nail on it, they're actually coming off, so they'll probably buff out, and a few little bits just want touching in with a colour match. That's nothing. For 160,000, you wouldn't even attempt to sort them out, you just get them buffed up and clean them up best you can. Tyre on the back again, also in good order. Quarter's good, but then things start to go a bit downhill. Looks nice and shiny, the car is, but if we can see here, we've got, first of all, a mark on the door, which actually will come out. I've actually started to buff it out, and it will come out. It's actually just scuffed, it's not gone down through the paint, so that will come out. But unfortunately, that won't come out. So we can see there we've got a bit of a sill. We've got quite a bit of sill damage there. It's actually impacted the sill quite hard, and it's damaged here. Looks like it's actually been repaired before. That's actually filler, and it's been repaired before, probably hit in the same place or similar area, and it's dented the sill and then took off the filler from another repair probably previously. So we've got quite a bit of a wallop there on that sill, which is unfortunate because it really does let it down. Because like I said, this mark here, that will come out, and we've got a little bit there as well. Most of that will come out as well, and you can then just touch it in. So if it wasn't for that sill, actually it'd be a really half decent car, and then it'd just be a case of just touching them bits up, maybe get that scratched on the other side, and we'd have quite a nice looking vehicle. We'd actually probably get some strong money for. But with that damaged sill, that has really messed up what I'm going to do with this car, as I'll explain to you in a minute. Now, from a damage perspective, I know it looks worse than it actually is. It's not that bad to repair. It just wants pulling out and then obviously just skimming over and repainting. Perfectly acceptable repair. Even like that, it's not actually an MOT fail or anything like that. You just get, it'd be advised on it. It's not too far damaged and it's become a structural issue. It'd just be an MOT advisory. That's what I would advise it for anyway. That's what I would do. I've seen many sales like this all the time. It is an advisory. It's literally got to be almost damaged the monocoque to fail, but it does spoil the look of the car, and it does make it more difficult to command obviously top money for it, because obviously people aren't going to pay top money for a car that's got a damaged sill. Rest of the car actually quite nice and straight. 4 badges a bit worn, but that can easily be rectified. And so the rest of it really is not a bad looking car. A few little marks on it for 160 thou, really, it's perfectly acceptable, but that damage really has sort of spoilt what I wanted to do with it, and it's a schoolboy error really. It's my own fault. I should have looked whilst I was bidding and popped my head on the other side and seen it, or just researched beforehand. Just spare the moment, put your hand up. I bought the car and you have to take the rough with the smooth. So at the end of the day, that's all down to me, my error. But let's press on anyway. We got key here, all working on the remote. It's a 2-litre diesel model, by the way, guys. Not too bad inside. Quick hoover out, quick valet, make a good car. Nice and clean interior. It's actually quite pleasant in there. Like I said, 160,000 miles. It's just a Z-Tech model, so we haven't got really any trinkets in here. Pretty standard, to be honest with you. But you know, it's clean, it's nice. It just wants a quick valet. And that's really it. There's not too much going on in here, to be honest, to worry about. 6-speed manual, 140 brake diesel, 2 litre, which is the one really that you want. Nice, good engine. Easily can do 300,000 miles. We could do some diesel in it. It was on 12 miles before, but now it's saying it's on 0. But let's start her up for you anyway. Oh, there we go, 16 miles in it now. We need some diesel in it. No warning lights on. Starts first turn the key. We've got no rattles. Press the clutch up and down. No dual mass rattles or anything like that. All good. Now I have obviously driven it back from the auction, and it's actually pretty decent, to be fair. But we'll go on a proper test drive in a minute, and I'll explain to you what I think we're going to need to do to this car. So have a quick look at the service history. So a quick look at the service pack. We've got a spare key in the brown envelope there, and it's a key fob one as well, which is great. Logbook, we've got 2 former keepers, HPI clear as well, and of course the all-important service history. Oh, there it was. Just missed it. Look at that there. Stamps. That's what we want to see. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 service stamps in there, up to the 25th of February last year. So it's probably due a service. 153 annual service is probably due. We'll do that anyway. We're going to sell it. We could do, it's not going to cost the earth just for us to put a few filters on it and do an oil change and that, and just give it a once over. So that's a good sign that we've got full service history. That's going to make it a lot easier to sell. Like I said, we've got a spare key and a logbook as well. So and we've even got the pack manual as well to put it all in, which is nice and presentable. Oh, the radio. We didn't check the radio. What we tuned into.
And at the start of the thing, someone dies.
Oh, but it's Talk Sport, and someone's died as well apparently, which is a shame. Right, quick look at the back. Auction catalogue. Pretty clean, like I said, a few marks on it, but we'll valet that. Good to get the shampoo on it, and that get the shampoo on it, and that will come up lovely. So not too bad in the back. Check the boot. Oh, we've got some carpets in there, parcel shelves there, some sort of holding tool. Has that been glued down or something? I'm not quite sure that's for. Let me know in the comments what that's. Stay hold device. Never seen one of them. Anyway, we've got mats in here. We've got a space saver in there. Looks like it's never been used. That's all good. Check under the bonnet. 2 litre diesel engine. I think it's based on a Peugeot unit, this one. They think they 4 or 5 different diesel engines they run in the Mondeos of this era. 1.6, 1.8, 2 litre, 2.2s. Yes, there's 4 diesel engines they use. All different variations of power. This is 140 brake. Like I said, it's driving all right, but we're going to proper test drive in a minute. Bit of a clean up under here, just a quick tidy up with a bit of a rag and a bit of G101. We'll make it a bit more presentable. We've got a cover off there, we'll have to sort that out. But no, nothing too alarming under here to worry about. Also as well, I forgot to mention, we're in 11 plate, it's actually a facelift model as well, which is good because they started the facelifts on 10 and 11 plate. Right, I think it's time to rig up the camera, get the plates on it, go for a proper drive. Right. Fires up, into life. The old bleep there for the fuel. We'll get some fuel in a minute. Let's get off this ice. So really, I have already driven this before, so I do know what it's like. So I'll quickly go through what we need to do to it, what I've noticed, and what I think is the best option for this car, because with that damage I found after I bought it, stupidly, that has really changed my outlook of what I'm going to do to this car. All right, so off the roundabout, we've got no knocks, no bangs. Push down the accelerator and she flies into life. Really, really responsive. 2-litre engine, 140 brake. Just ideal, really, for what you need. It's really, really nice thing to drive, actually. Got lovely, sweet gear change, 6-speed manual. Everything's working as it should. Hit the brakes, we come into a nice controlled stop. We're not wandering anywhere or anything like that when we're braking. I noticed the tracking's out a little bit, it's pulling to the left slightly and the steering wheel's off-centred, but we can easily sort that out, that's not too much of an issue. Like you said, the clutch is nice as well, we've got no rattles or vibrations, we've got no judder or anything. I'm actually really impressed with the way this drives. You can just tell with that full service history, this has been looked after, it's been well maintained, and it shows in the way it drives. So really, it's only the bodywork that's letting this car down, and it is letting it down quite badly. That sill damage has really sort of messed up my numbers, because I had in my head this car potentially, the way it drives and the year and the mileage, looking online, roughly being somewhere in the region of about £1,900. Now you see, there's a few cars around that sort of £2,000 mark, 1,800 quid mark, all sorts of similar years and mileage, but I think at £1,895 this would sit perfectly in the middle. It's only one of the base models, this being a Z-Tech, so you know, if it was a titanium you could probably stick it out there a bit more, it'd be worth a bit more money, but we have to be realistic with this mileage. I know it's got good history, but 1,900 quid probably is where it's at. And even then we're going to have to get an MOT on it, and we're going to make it look a bit more presentable. You're not going to get £1,900 for it of a bashed in sill. And because I hadn't seen that damage at the auction, looking at it now, I'm going to have to reassess what I do with this car, because ultimately, to get £1,900 for it, in my head I was thinking around £200 or £300 of prep. You see, I bought the car at £1,027 with all the fees. I had in my head that I'd spend a couple of £100 fixing that quarter-inch door where the scratches were, get that painted in, and it actually look a really nice bonny car. And then we could command that 1,900 quid, be firm on it, put a 12-month MOT, give it a quick service, job done. We'd probably end up spending around £1,300, maybe £1,350. We need anything for the MOT, and then that'd be it. Sell the car, and make a nice quick £500, £550 profit, somewhere around there. Now it could take a couple of weeks to get that painted, but once we've got it back we'd probably sell straight away because of the way it would look. It would look really nice, it would show, and I think it would, and the first person that would come and look at it would probably buy it, that sort of money. That was the idea. But with that damage on the sill, like I said, it's moved the goalpost really, because to fix that sill damage, it's probably going to cost me 300 quid to have that done with the sill. There's a screw up in the door, that'll come out, I'm not worried about that. But to have that sill repaired, it's at least going to be £300, and then we're going to need to do the quarter. We could be £400 or £500 into painting this quite easily, and then in time we've done that, and then we need to spend a little bit of money in the workshop. You're still going to get £1,900 for it. I just think, is it worth doing? And it's a shame really, because I actually want to paint this car. I wanted it to get it back to a really nice condition and sell it as a proper, it's a high mileage car, but as a retailable car. I know it's high mileage, but sell it as one of something like that. Stick it on Auto Trader, get it looking its best, and find a new home for it. That's what I want you to do. But it's just not financially viable really to do that. I think we're going to have to go down the same route as we did with that Igo a month or so ago. The orange Igo we had similar issues. I mean, in fact, that had been painted, and the paint was okay. It was in places where it had been done. The colour match was right, but just the repair wasn't up to the best standard. And I decided in the end that it wasn't worth painting, because time had painted it, yes, you get a bit more for it, but it wouldn't outweigh the cost of what you paid for it. It was just easy just to take a quick profit and sell it as it was. And we did. We put it out for sale. I put it out for sale and sold it straight away. I had someone straight on it. I didn't have to wait for weeks to go to paint, come back, and mess about doing all that. So in the end, I made the right choice. And I think that's going to be the same outcome on this. What's the point in trying to get £1,900 for it, getting it all painted, to make less money than we might do just selling it as it is? It owes us 1,027 quid. It needs an MOT. I've already checked it over in the workshop last night when I was cleaning it off. It actually doesn't need anything mechanical underneath. It's all right. The tyres are good, the brakes are good, everything's superb on it. It would absolutely fly for an MOT. In which case, really, we could just sell it as it is with the damage, show it in the pictures clearly, saying, look, here's the price. This is why it's X price. Take it as it is. It's got full MOT. It's got a full MOT, full service history. We'll service the car as well, so it has got full history. And then take it as it is as a runabout. Let someone decide if they want to paint it, if they want to sort it out, and if they don't and just want to use it and abuse it for a few years, fine. You know, give them that option, because I think it'd be better off doing that, getting a small margin out of it, than it will be having it painted, waiting around for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then getting the same money out of it, if not slightly less. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take exactly the same strategy as I did with that iGo a few weeks ago, stick it up as it is with the damage, and just put it up price accordingly. I think if you stick it up £14.95 or £14.75, somewhere around there, make a quick 300-400 quid profit out of it, and just flip it round and see how we go. Now that's not much in it, to be honest with you. The risk to reward isn't great in it, let's be fair. But, you know, I've made an error. I put my hands up. I've made an error. I bought it thinking that it was better than it was. I made the schoolboy error of not checking the car properly, and I'm paying for it. I could potentially have ended up losing money on the car. If it had been mechanically poor underneath as well, we could have spent lots and lots of money getting it repaired, and we could have easily lost money on this car. So coming out of it for £300 or £400 wouldn't be a bad ending to this, and I'd be happy with that, and learn my lesson, you know, not to rush in without checking cars properly, no matter how cheap they sound. So that's what we're going to do with it. I'm going to MOT it this weekend, get it up for sale next week, and just see if we're getting the interest as it is. To be fair, it isn't that bad looking. So that's what we're going to do with this one, guys. So thank you for watching this one. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.